Now time for our main speech and presentation from our Supreme Knight. Dr. George Sekulla has served as the Supreme Knight of the Order during 2019 to 2023. Since being admitted into the Order in 1999, George has fulfilled leadership roles at branch, state and national level, including Deputy State Chairman National 2010 to 2011, State Chairman 2012 to 2014, National Councillor 2012 to 2014, Deputy Supreme Knight 2015 to 2019. He was a member of the Board of Management for the Overseas Aid Fund for the education of children in Vietnam. I'll say that 3 times. We'll call it OFEC from now. During 2001 to 2021, so 20 plus years, having served as Chairman from 2009 to 2021. George served as Chairman of KSC Education Foundation from 2012 to 2014, and he remains the trustee of the foundation. He's been the editor of the Nightlife Journal in WA since 2015, a publication that's distributed widely in West Australian Catholic community, nationally and internationally. George is an active member of Notre Dame Parish in Cloverdale. He's currently Chairman of the Parish Council and Parish Finance Committee. He has regularly served as acolyte since 2009, and I believe it's a task he's starting to pass on to his son, becoming an altar server recently, I believe. George is an elected local government councillor for the City of Belmont, having been elected in 2017 and then re-elected for a second term in 2021. George served as Deputy Mayor from 2019 to 2021. In 2020, as Deputy Mayor, he led a successful delegation to the Adachi War in Tokyo, Japan, with representatives from business, community and government to explore interests in these areas and celebrate their historic sister city relationship. George is a principal of a secondary school. He has been working in the state public sector for over 30 years. He has worked in 10 metropolitan and rural schools, the Regional Educational Office, the School Curriculum and Standards Authority, formerly Curriculum Council of WA, and a ministerial office. George was appointed as a Justice of the Peace by the Governor of West Australia in 1997. George is married to Diana, and they have 3 children who are all here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please make me welcome tonight's main address, Dr. George Sekulla.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Well, I'd like to formally welcome you all here to this very important gala event. This event is to celebrate a very successful couple of days. We had our National Executive meeting on Friday, and we had our 9th National Conference during the course of the day, and we have our final Mass and our installation ceremony for the new national offices that will take effect tomorrow. So it's been quite a historic time for the Order in Western Australia, as I guess it is nationally. So last year we celebrated 100 years that a Supreme Council, which is I guess the equivalent of our National Council, that was formally established, which guided the direction of the Order across Australia. Last year we also had our celebration of our 100th anniversary here in Western Australia and the amazing achievements that have been fulfilled during that time. So for us, the last couple of days, both nationally and at state level, has been a very significant occasion. I'd like to thank you all for being here this evening. Thank you for being part of our Knights family. I'd like to acknowledge a number of individuals before I start. I'd like to acknowledge Peter Lewis, who is a former state chairman, past Supreme Knight, and was awarded a life Membership Award of the Order in Western Australia at the end of last year. Colin Watt, who was a past Supreme Knight, past International Chairman of IAC and a Knight of Honour. Brian Cooper, who was a past Supreme Knight, past State Chairman of the Order in South Australia, and also Knight of Honour. I'd like to also acknowledge David Jeffries from Queensland, who is a Knight of Honour. Thank you, David, for being here. Brad Prentice, who you would all know, was former State Chairman and is currently Chairman of Southern Cross Care in Western Australia, but is also the Chairman of Southern Cross Care Australia. I also want to acknowledge Frank Duff, who was the recipient of the Supreme Knights Award back in 2019. So Frank, thank you for being here this evening. So collectively, we have an enormous number of individuals that have made a wonderful value add to our order over many, many years. And I'm really pleased that they're here this evening. I also want to acknowledge the work done by Emma, Kerry Jeffries, who's sitting over there, John Walshak, who is meant to be over here, but isn't. He's over there. For the work that they have put in to organising the national and the state triennial meetings. The work that they have done has been outstanding, and I'm very blessed to have such a team working in such an environment. I'd like to also acknowledge Kevin Clark, our current state chairman of the order, and Kevin, thank you so much for the work that you have done in leading the young team and ensuring that the last two days have been very, very successful. And it's not an activity that's occurred in the past week or past month. It's taken a long, long time to organise. And on behalf of the National Executive, we are incredibly grateful to you, to Emma, to Kerry and to John, and to Tony Borromeo, who's our State Secretary, who was working very late on Wednesday and Thursday nights in order to get things done. So thank you very much. Can you please give them a big hand? I also want to take the opportunity to acknowledge St Vincent de Paul, Southern Cross Care, Notre Dame University, Catholic Education Western Australia. It's a historic point as well to have 4 long-standing partners in the same room with the order for such a long, long time. To have everyone here has been amazing. So to each of those groups, thank you so much. We certainly appreciate the support, and you are very much part of the Knights family, certainly in Western Australia, and I know some of that goes right across Australia as well, so thank you. I guess when I reflect on my time in the order, I think about the journey that I've been on, and I can assure you now, if I think back to '99 when I first joined the order, I had absolutely no aspirations to be on state council or state chairman, let alone be on national and be the Supreme Knight. That was never part of the plan. In fact, it was certainly never part of my wife's plan either. But I actually blame my wife, and I'll say because I can do that because she's unwell tonight, so she can't make it. So I feel I'm amongst friends here. So one day, I was at church, and I came out, and my wife was talking to Ken Sullivan. Now, Ken Sullivan, for those of you that who don't know, Ken was state treasurer for a number of years in the order, and he's part of my parish. And he and Diana were talking about the order, and Ken said, "Oh, I reckon George should go on state council." And Dinah had no idea what that was. Said, "Oh yeah, that sounds really good. You'll enjoy yourself." And I said, "I don't know about that, Dinah. That's not a good move." But anyway, somehow, because I'm a compliant male, I just joined, and yes, and I had a lot of fun in those years, and then I had the opportunity again. It wasn't that I was looking to be a state chairman, but Peter Murray, who's passed away since, he was looking at stepping down after two years, and they were looking for someone to actually take over. And John Wyatt, who I just assumed, who my friend here, John Wyatt, who I assumed would then be the next chairman of the rank, said, "Oh no, I can't, George, because I'm doing some stuff nationally, and I'm just not able to do that." And then he said, "Well, it's you." I said, "All right then." So then I said, "Oh look, I have to speak to Dinah about this, because I'm not sure." And what you don't know is that Dinah was pregnant with my son Paul who's sitting over there. And I said, "Well, this is what the situation is and how it's going to work." And I said, "What do you think?" She said, "Oh yeah, that'll be easy. Just be state chairman, will be good for you. You'll meet interesting people, you gain skills, etc." All right. So then I became state chairman. Now, I'm glad that it was a 3-year maximum term. And so can I just speak to those that are on national? This is where the Constitution played in really, really well, because I could only go 3 years. And for each year that I was state chairman, I had a child. So I'm glad it was a 3-year term, because I've got feelings and emotions, so I can't go more than 3 years. But I am blessed that I had that opportunity, and whilst I was on state council, I had a great opportunity to work with amazing individuals over that time. I met individuals outside of the order, but still within the Catholic Church, that we had great relationships with. And that powered me on, given my commitment to my faith, to the order, and to the opportunities that we could do good works out there. And I believe during that period of time that we actually achieved quite a lot, including the actual establishment of the cathedral branch in my second year, and that has gone from strength to strength. And working with Tristan Crawley was just a wonderful experience, and many of you will know him through different works, and he was an amazing man in that space. So then going on to national was a wonderful opportunity, and again, because the first time I went on national was when Peter Murray took me across, and that was in 2011. Now I can honestly say to you, I had no idea what national was, or how it worked, or what it meant, but it was a great exposure. And I was sitting there and I was listening, and I thought, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, you just couldn't write this sort of stuff, And these people were interesting. They came to the table with knowledge and skills and experiences that you would just enjoy listening to and being actually part of. But like with all organisations, they needed just a little bit of a kick into the modern century, because things needed to change and actually develop. And people came and they went, they got new blood, and I certainly got an appetite for being on national, and I really enjoyed that. And I had an opportunity to work with Colin Walsh and Brian Cooper, who were gentlemen in their own right, who had a way of managing the situation, a way of getting an understanding about the order. And learning and growing in that space was a wonderful experience. And they were positives in my life. So then I had the opportunity to be the Supreme Knight, and I did that job for 4 years, and we had COVID, we had a whole raft of things going on in that space. But each of those steps were a wonderful experience. You live and you learn. You don't always get it right. You don't always get it right, but you learn from the mistakes and you learn from each other, and that's how you become bigger and stronger and better. And family to me, just like to all of you here, is such an important part of your life. And my kids are my world. They are everything to me. They are my first, second and my last. And so, and some people might think this is strange, but I took Paul to the National Executive meetings. I took Sophia to meetings, and they got to learn what it was like from a very young age, which was totally out of the ordinary because that wasn't the done thing. But because I didn't want to be away from my kids, I still wanted to do the role. They became part of it, and they learnt quite a lot. They learnt a lot. They learnt how to be in meetings. They learnt how individuals operated. And I remember when we went to Canberra, which was in December, and John was there, John Walsh was there, and John Dwyer was there, Nigel was there. I think, Nigel, that was an experience of your life. And it was. And Sophia came, and that was like her first national meeting. And she came away and she said, "Why are they so angry all the time? Why are they so angry? Because if we did this in class, we would get in trouble." I said, I don't have that classroom management style with these guys. But anyway, it was a great experience for her. And to me, my family and them being part of the order was incredibly important. So I guess when I think about what the order has done for me and what I have been able to try and give back to the order, that's been a significant driving force in my commitment over so many years. And I want to acknowledge and thank all of the state chairmen that came from over east, all of the national councillors that came from over east, because without them, the order wouldn't succeed. The order wouldn't move forward. We come to the table with different experiences, but we learn from each other, we grow with each other, and that's how the order is strong and relevant and resilient. So, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening to me in this short time, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the evening. So thank you very much. Now, part two of what I'm about to do is I've got a very special award that I need to make. Now, this award is referred to as the Supreme Knights Award, and the Supreme Knights Award is the highest award that can be awarded or presented to a knight in Australia, and it's for that individual that has made a significant value add to the order at both a branch, state, and national level. And it gives me great pleasure to award this award to Geoffrey Beale. Everything that you do now, so you control but you don't get set in state now. You actually can if you want.
I'm actually quite gobsmacked. I have absolutely no idea what this is for. Presumably someone will enlighten me later. But I've been a member since the mid-90s. I don't think I've done anything exceptional. I was chairman of the 999 group for 7 and a bit years, and I did spend 15 years on the the board of Southern Cross Care, and I have been very heavily involved with Loving for Life over the years. So maybe it's a combination of those. So I have absolutely no idea what it is, but thank you, George. Thank you for the notes.
So I had a funny feeling that Jeff would respond in this way. So because Jeff is a bit vague as to why he would receive this, I'd like to ask our MC Adrian Maxwell to take you down the journey of Jeff's life in terms of the order. And yes, some of you would remember This Is Your Life. Well, this is the order's version of This Is Your Life, Jeff Beale.
Dear brothers. So, Jeff Beale. Jeff has been a member of the Order of the Knights of the Southern Cross in Western Australia since the 3rd of June 1997. Having been admitted to the Knights Consultal Branch 999, he continues to be a financial member of this branch. He has served as a member of branch executive, including branch chairman, deputy branch chairman and branch councillor. In 2005, Jeff was elected to the Board of Management, that long one again, OFEC. OFEC is a project proudly sponsored by the Order. He served as Vice Chairman during 2006 to 2009, where he applied his wealth of experience in consulting in both the private and public sectors towards the strategic direction of the OFEC. Jeff provided invaluable strategic, constitutional, governance and financial advice to the Board Management. Jeff was appointed to the Board of Southern Cross Care in 2005 and remained a director until he retired in 2020. During his time on the board, he served as chairman of the Planning Committee. As a key member of the board, he promoted the retention and fostering of the ethos and values underpinning the initial foundation of Southern Cross Care. In addition, Jeff has contributed to the review of the strategic plan and the preparation of a new plan to facilitate the organisation's growth and expansion in the provision of aged care. Jeff was elected as chairman of Branch 999 Consultal Branch during 2016 to 2022. He negotiated inspiring after-dinner speakers for their quarterly meetings and ensured Knights Consulta continued to play a significant advisory role to the Supreme Knight on national issues, the State Chairman, the State Council and the orders of various entities. Jeff's commitment and motivation has been an inspiration and a model of other branches across Australia. Jeff has actively advocated for a range of life and social issues and has provided leadership in the Order and in the wider Catholic community relating to these. His work in this area has contributed, along with other Knights, to positions prepared to government at both state and Commonwealth level. His activism has assisted community opposition relating to the legalisation on euthanasia, the redefinition of marriage, gender-related re-education and religious freedom. Jeff has tertiary qualifications in commerce and engineering and a postgraduate studies in business administration. He is a retired senior executive with more than 35 years experience in the telecommunications industry. Jeff is married to Trish and they have successfully raised 4 sons. They are now enjoying being grandparents. Jeff is actively involved in the Catholic Church on a number of levels, including Christian Brothers, Billings and North Perth Monastery. Jeff has been involved in the Christian Brothers for many years as a member of their peer support group that meets monthly for dinner and prayer. Both he and Trish have been active with the Billings Family Life Group for the past 25 years, and they have taken the lead role in the delivery of the Loving for Life and Sexuality program in Western Australian Catholic schools. Jeff has been instrumental in facilitating the expansion of the program in the eastern states and in New Zealand. Jeff and his family are actively involved in the North Perth Monastery. As well as liturgical support, Jeff and Trish initiated very popular monthly soup evenings that run after Sunday evening Mass. In addition, Jeff was a member of the team that initiated and delivered married couple retreats for the Archdiocese of Perth during the late 90s and early 2000s. Jeff's personable disposition and enthusiasm for the order is manifest in his daily commitment to his faith and service to others. He is an ambassador for the order and its place in the church. Jeff is a dedicated and loyal member of the Order of Knights of the Southern Cross in Western Australia. Since his admission into the order, he has demonstrated faithful commitment to the principles and objects of the order. In addition, he has served the order with distinction and has performed above and beyond the duties of a knight in order to preserve the integrity, history, tradition and sustainability of the organisation.
I don't think I can add any more to that. Congratulations to Jeff. And there's one last thing that I'd like to add, which I've kept separate. I'd like to also take the opportunity to acknowledge the actual leadership team of national officers in the order, and that is Vince, who was the Deputy Supreme Knight, Ian Fleetwood, who National Secretary, Brendan Long, who is the National Executive Officer, John Hennessy, who's the National Development Officer. I want to just say to each of those, thank you very much for all of your work that you have done during that period of time, during the three to four years. I'd like to acknowledge the commitment that you've given to the order. I'd like to thank you for the professional approach that you've given to the role that you've executed during the past four years. And on a personal note, I want to thank you for your friendship and your support that you have given me during my time. And I am incredibly blessed to have you as part of the team. And I know moving forward that you guys will do an amazing job to take the order through to the next 3 years. So thank you very much. Could I just ask you to thank those?